You won't like me when I'm angry. You won't like me when I'm mad. When I'm howling like a lunatic, bats in the belfry and a black cat. No, I won't keep your secrets no more. I'm finally free, and this little bird is gonna settle the score. Hello, people of the internet. I gotta start over. Hello, and what I think about... What is this? Okay, here, hold on. I literally took notes so that this wouldn't happen to me, and I'm like, look at your freaking notes. Girl! Okay, so, hello, people of the internet. Take 3. The 3rd time I've tried to film the beginning of this video. I keep cringing myself out and having to stop. Hello and welcome to the unplanned, chaotic weirdness that's about to go down here. So, in this episode of Reckless Rambles, I am gonna ramble recklessly on about my interview that just went live on Not the Good Girls channel with Josie. Josie, if you watch this, thank you so much for having me on. You were so great. Everybody has been so kind to me, but I genuinely wish I could have been a better guest for you. More on that later, but thank you so much for the opportunity. I think that the video came out so incredibly good. Chef's kiss. Hats off. All the rest of it. And then this video, this little ramble sesh is also going to be probably like the part 2 that I promised to the video that I just posted on my channel about MLM Frontloading and the Facebook Marketplace post I made and the way I'm selling product and all of that. If you haven't seen that video, here it is. You should watch it because this is a follow-up to that. If you haven't seen me on Josie's channel being interviewed, why not? That's probably why you're here. But if it isn't, there's that. Go watch it. Okay, now that you've done your homework, we're back. We can carry on. To everyone who's here from Josie's channel, thank you. Thank you for coming and checking me out. Thank you for being so overwhelmingly kind. So I watched it as soon as it went live, and there wasn't very many comments. And I will say that I thought that I was terrible. Like, I wanted to delete my entire existence off the internet and, like, move into a hole in the ground and, like, pursue a hermiting existence and never inflict my cringe upon the rest of humanity. That's what I thought was, like, the appropriate, like, to scale response after watching myself for 2 hours. But, I mean, I know that we all experience some cringe when we watch ourselves, but, like, oof. It was so... I feel so bad that I had lighting issues. I don't really know what that's even about, but I will definitely have to hyper-analyze it to try and make sure it never happens. It had like that light flashing, it's like the light meter of the camera, like trying to figure out what to, and like re-metering itself like every single time I move, which is constantly. I think that that's what it's doing. I just don't know why. I don't know if there's just like an autofocus setting that I can toggle and then never have that happen again, but it doesn't happen really in that insane degree. But if anybody knows like what went wrong with that video for why like my camera was constantly light metering for 2 straight hours to the point where it was like probably seizure inducing for some people, if Josie or her editor hadn't have been able to like tone it down a little bit. But yeah, that's what happened, and I don't really know why, except that, I mean, I think I don't even know if filming far, yeah, maybe if I sit further away from my light source. It's a real struggle, guys. So that was like my main moment of cringe. And then just, you know, I have some real vocal fillers that are not my favorite. I say like more than any teenage girl in History, Time, and Space, for sure. I'm just keeping that one with me forever, apparently. That vocal filler. I will always say like to an insane degree. I don't even know if I can get rid of that one. But the two that I'm trying to purge, and I think I've gotten rid of them because, like I said, the video with Josie was filmed a couple months ago. I don't think I say, 50 billion times a minute like I used to. And then the other one I hate is this like zombie corpse breath exhalation that's like why I do that, I don't know, but I do that shit all the time, and then I go to edit footage and I chop it all out because it's unbearable. And I think that present me has managed to edit those vocal fillers out so that future me doesn't have to edit so many of them, because I don't think that those fillers are a feature of my language anymore. But yeah, if I could get them right up out of my vocabulary forever, that would be great. So these were all the reasons why when I watched that video, okay, so those are like the little things. And then the big things, like the way that I just watching myself struggle to answer a question or like complete a story or like get to the point, I was very bored with myself, I will say. So I thought I was terrible. I thought I was like the worst guest. I felt so bad. And of course, this was nothing that Josie did to make me feel this way. This was all just entirely how I felt watching myself back. And then, a few hours later, I go back and I check the comments, and there's like literally not a single person who's telling me that I'm the most annoying person in the world. Like, I was cringing at myself so hard that I wanted to literally cringe myself right out of my body and into someone else's body, and I wanted to walk around as them for the rest of my life. Do you understand? Like, I wanted to cringe myself into possessing another human being just so that I didn't have to be me anymore. That's how hard I cringed. And then I go back and so I'm thinking, like, delete your existence from the internet. Nobody will have you now. And I go back, and there's people telling me that it was good and that they enjoyed it, actual compliments, that I was interesting. And this is not to reflect praise back upon myself. This is like some real, the way we see ourselves versus the way others see us moment. Because I'm deadly serious. I really thought I bombed it. I thought it was awful. I was so embarrassed. And then, not even a single person has had anything mean to say. But I will also say that I was fully expecting to get some negative feedback, either for being a part in an MLM or for not being in an MLM anymore, or for the way that I answered certain questions. Like, I absolutely expected to get some pushback or just some random mean people targeting me. And I'm kind of, like, baffled that hasn't happened. Like, bully me more, internet. No, like, obviously not. Thank you, everybody, for being so nice. I just, like, I expected less. I really expected less from the internet at large. So I've been pleasantly surprised. I haven't actually had like any, not good. I haven't had any like shitty, judgy comments or bad takes at all. So, here's to being to having low expectations and being pleasantly surprised. Ooh, that was terrible. I might have to take that out. Listen to the train as it goes past my house. Yes, there is a train, but do not try to find where I live. That would be weird. Ugh, just splashed coffee in my eye. Don't enjoy it. Okay. Well, I talked about how cringy I am. I talked about how much I hate all my vocal fillers. Now I can talk about... Okay, so this is kind of a follow-up to my gosh, I have to pee, but that's good because I won't ramble. I can't talk for too long now. Perfect. So the last video that I posted on my channel, once again, here it is. Watch it first, because this might be the only follow-up that I ever do to that video. Maybe. So, the day that I filmed that video, I also wrote a complete song. Like, I've been writing parts of songs for a little bit once I started opening up those floodgates of creativity again, but an entire song in the midst of, like, this is how this day went. This is the part 2 I'm telling you about it. So this is how this day went. So like I said in the video, I'd been posting things kind of like quietly on buy and sell, and things had been like trickling out the door. And then I had this one sales director creep up in my inbox, and she tried to call out my integrity. I might put the screen, I don't know, like, is it bad to show a screenshot of what she said to me? I don't know. I might, though. Obviously, I'll obscure details, but I'm not gonna lie. 90% of this message is actually pretty nice and kind, and she's actually trying to help me out. But I did not read, like, any of that. I read her calling my integrity into question, and I absolutely fucking lost it. That's what happened. And I posted this exact thing on Marketplace, and it was not in an effort to get a pile of attention, and I wasn't trying to start shit, I was trying to end shit. Because at this point, I had been slowly and subtly selling product for like a week on Marketplace, and I had gotten no pushback from anybody. But when that was the day that I think that people thought that maybe it was a mistake at first, but then when I started consistently doing it, they were like, oh no, she's doing this on purpose. We better bully her. So I had a couple people like reach out, and I just ignored them. But this person in particular started calling me, and I can't freaking text people when you're calling me. So after she called me twice in a row and I declined the call, I texted her back and was like, WTF, like, what do you want? And this is kind of how that conversation went. Like, I was just like, what do you want? And she tried to, like, lay a guilt trip on me. And I was just like, I'm not having this. Like, get out of here. And when she questioned my integrity, I just, like, muted her, blocked her, whatever, and just carried on with my life. And then I posted this little manifesto because I didn't want to be getting any more people thinking that they were going to be creeping up into my DMs or messaging me and telling me what they thought. They may as well know that I know what I'm doing, and I see it. Like, they may as well know that I've had it. I'm done. I'm literally done with all of it. And so that is what I said. And this post went like Facebook Marketplace viral. Like, it's the most attention I've ever gotten on the internet. That ad was viewed over 900 times in a day. And that probably means nothing because who knows what, like, numbers mean on Marketplace. But, like, if anyone sells shit on Marketplace, man, that was wild. It was crazy. The flood, like, I literally could not respond to the messages fast enough. Like, I really struck a nerve. And that's why I wrote this song that I'm going to post at the end of this video here. Side note, I'm just singing the song a cappella because I lack the piano playing skills to play the accompaniment that I can literally hear in my head, but can't play it. So that's what you're going to get. Anyway, I wrote this song that you're going to hear the rest of. And I also, during that day, so my inbox was flooded. I wrote this entire song, and I also sat down in the middle of all that craziness, and I filmed that video, just all, like, yelled at my phone for an hour, and then got back at it. That day, I spent so much time on my phone that I literally had a migraine at the end of the day, and then I had to, like, basically just then I went to voice to text so that I didn't have to look at my phone so much, and I just voice to texted a lot of people being like, I got a migraine, text you back tomorrow, like, it was just crazy. Like, I was really suffering from success, DJ Khaled style. I was absolutely suffering from the success of that Marketplace ad. And I had like hundreds of people joined my private Facebook group that you guys have asked for the link for, by the way. More on that in a second. I had like tons of people. Like, it took me like 100 requests that I added by the end of the day. It was crazy. And I'm trying to think. I think I sold like, what was the number, man? I think I sold like $2,000 that day, if I'm not mistaken. I'd have to check the numbers. I wonder if I wrote them down somewhere. It doesn't matter. I sold like, maybe I did. Just a second. Give me 1 minute. It's time you find I closed that tab and I've already paid. Oh my gosh. I sold like $4,300 in like a day. It was nuts. I sold about a third of my product. The stuff that you see in the video with Josie, oh yeah, that's actually was after that happened. So seeing how much was on hand after I had already yeeted like $4,000 of it out of my life, I think, that sounds crazy. Man, that's probably not untrue though. That's probably how much I did sell. Paid a bunch of bills. I don't got it no more. Yeah, it was wild. It was nuts. And I also want to mention that of that $4,000 that I sold in one freaking day, I was selling everything below wholesale. Meaning that, like, in Mary Kay language, I would actually tell people that I had retailed about $9,000 because that would have been the actual retail value if I was selling everything full price. So, like, what an insane sales day. Like, by far my highest sales day ever, bar none. Now, of course, I wasn't making any kind of a profit, so you can't, hello train. I wasn't making any kind of a profit, so it's not like a guy can extrapolate any information from that other than, well, that's not true. You can extrapolate a lot of information from it. Here's what I extrapolated. I'll stop using that word because it's getting annoying. But this is what I learned from that. I learned that there are tons of people in my city who are familiar with Mary Kay products, know exactly what they want. I learned that there is a whole gray market of people that still love the product and are not wanting to support the horrible business, or, give anybody the false sense that they might actually be about to be doing something with it. So they go to Marketplace and they buy, half price product from failed consultants. If you're a person who happens to like any kind of an MLM product, I would highly recommend you do the same. I know that the hashtag anti-MLM stance is to just avoid the products wholesale. Obviously do that if you want. I don't know if I'm going to keep using Mary Kay products after I use up my stock. There are a couple things that I, don't know if I'll find dupes for. And I'm sure I'll be able to just find cheap, gray market versions of them forever, because I don't think there's ever going to be an end to the supply of people who are selling product that way. So I learned that there's a whole, undercurrent of people who want the product and don't want to pay full price, and they just troll the marketplaces looking for consultants, and they'll message you with their list of everything they want, what their shade is. These people know. These people used to be somebody's customer, or they were in the business themselves. So I learned that, and I also learned that nothing rings louder than the truth. I was not trying to start shit. I was not trying to draw a bunch of attention to myself. My only goal with posting what I did was so that I could just sell the product. I just wanted to be able to do my thing, to just get the product out there without being harassed or inundated by a bunch of fucking bozos. So, that was my only goal. I actually didn't think that, I had no thought that it was going to take off like that it was going to go crazy, that I was going to have, the entire small city that I live in, literally clamoring for my Mary Kay, and they did. There were also people who reached out to me who'd never used the product before and just wanted it because they liked what I had to say, and they wanted to support the idea of it. So that's the part too. I mean, it did slow down pretty quick after that, I will say. I'm not really trying to start drama on a weekly basis. So it's really slowed, and there was also some personal circumstances that got in the way of me really riding out the momentum that was generated. But it's going okay. I was a lot more pumped up, jazzed up, and whatever. I mean, I haven't I need to get more I just need to put more effort back into it. I just it's just tough. It just gets tough sometimes. So to address something that I'm a teacher now. To address something that so many of you have so kindly asked, you want to help, you want to support. Just in the course of talking about this video, I think I am going to let the walls down a little bit, and I might share my Facebook Marketplace link. Not my Marketplace, sorry, my Facebook group link. It's a private group, a closed private group. But if I post that link, you can ask to join, and then I can let you join, and then you can see what basically most of my stuff is posted there, so you can see what it is. the some of the stuff that makes me pause is that's like my literal personal Facebook account that I opened in like 2008 when Facebook was like the first social media. Like, guys, I don't know what demons are like. You know, we've talked about lots of real, like, you know, we've talked about lots of real things on this channel. And like, guys, I used to be like a real evangelical Christian. You know, I made that Facebook account after my first year of Bible college. So like, I don't even know what insane comments, crazy religious posts, like, I don't even know what I've all done on that Facebook account, right? And I never thought that I would ever share that private Facebook account with the world. Now, I've never been like the worst person ever, so and now that I'm, you know, able to, like, we're allowed to have a personal growth arc. I mean, if you guys are going to cancel me for things that I did in 2009, I mean, okay. But yeah, I never thought that I would like publicly, I never thought I would leak that Facebook profile myself. So that gives me a bit of pause, but that's like the group where everything is posted. So I could make a separate group on a separate, you know, and then just dump all those posts in there, and then that could be like the internet group that's got like a little bit of more of a barrier between me and my personal life, or the internet and my personal life. Like, that would be an option, but I don't know if but is that even all necessary? Is that all that necessary? I'm not too sure. Also, maybe like gotta like think about what could be on my old Facebook though. Like, could I be like, could I dox myself? Like, I don't know. Did I post like my old childhood home? I don't know. Who knows what I posted on that account? So that's the question. It's like, is there, what kind of like private personal information have I posted publicly when I was young and foolish? And do I call that kind of like I don't know. Now, there's actually like a larger concern though for me with selling products. So first of all, it's mostly the shipping of it. Like, you know, like shipping's probably, like, I live in Canada, right? So like shipping's expensive. It's probably going to be like $20 per order, or like I mean, unless it's just a couple things. And this might be like a issue that's worth me overcoming, because I have thought about, you know, ways of making money from home before that could involve, you know, like first of all, I like genuinely don't understand how Depop works. I love thrifting. Shouts out to somebody, I think her channel name is Liv's Style Remix, or Liz Style Remix. Somebody just subscribed to me, and she told me that she just started a channel, and it's a thrifting channel, and I haven't watched anything, but shouts out to her. I was so pleasantly surprised by all the cool people that have found their way here, because my channel, gosh, I'm all over the place now. Come along for the ride, kids. Because my channel started out as a hair channel, which was like my attempt at having a creative outlet when I was in Mary Kay. So I decided to do something beauty adjacent. I don't know. I was watching a lot of curly hair content at the time, and it seemed like something I could do. So I was doing a lot of hair content, and then I did have one hair video that has done pretty well. I think it's at like over 10,000 views. It's well and above my most viewed video. But once I started separating myself from Mary Kay, I found myself wanting less and less to do beauty style videos, because it was just like that whole space. I didn't want to be a part of any of it anymore. So much so that I'm going to trigger people with my hairy armpits. Anyway, I just didn't want to be a part of that space with my hairy armpits and my lack of desire to do my makeup. So I've wondered if I've always felt this little lingering, like I should go back to making some hair content, and I do have some hair videos in my mind. I always have hair videos in mind, and I've always felt kind of like this pressure to go back to making hair content. But now that there are so many new cool people in this channel, please comment below. What kinds of stuff do you watch? What's your favorite YouTuber? What shit are you into, guys? What should we do? What's fun for us? Because I also had the concern right away that with the influx of subscribers, I would get a lot of people who were part of the anti-MLM space, of course, and I was afraid that that would come with like a lot of pressure to make MLM content, and I don't want this to be a strictly like anti-MLM or anti-Mary Kay YouTube channel. For me, guys, honestly, like Mary Kay robbed 5 years of my life, 50 years of my vitality and life force, 5,000 years of my will to live, and the strength of my spirit. And I just don't want to devote the rest of my life to that. Even though I think that there is something that's so healing and cathartic and like warrior-esque and beautiful about, you know, converting that pain and experience into advocacy, I think that that's freaking awesome, and I want to do that, and I will continue to do that on this channel. But I don't want this to be an MLM only channel. And what I see happening oftentimes with anti-MLM YouTubers is when they post anti-MLM videos, they get thousands or tens of thousands of views, but then when they post anything else, it's just a few hundred. And that's fine. Obviously, I'm not guilt-tripping you into watching my content. Watch what you're interested in. It's your spare time. You don't owe me anything. A stranger on the internet, guys. But it's just been so cool to see like so much overlap. Like there's somebody commented that they are also super into crafting. Y'all, I am the crafting queen. That's like another thing I've thought of doing from home. I could have like a Depop and like thrift or like pick items. Oh my gosh, there's so much cool antiques on Facebook Marketplace. I just have to hold myself back. I could be a picker, you know, literally picking through garbage, going to estate sales, going into old condemned houses, ripping old windows out of things and old wood floor. Like, I would love that shit. Now, of course, there's like a huge scale there. Like, are you getting little stuff for like windows? The problem with like antiquing or vintage shopping and then this Depop thing I was just talking about, I genuinely don't know how it works, because are people like just shipping things from their house? Are they like, how? What? How? And I know that's such an incredibly dumb question. Like, yes, people are just shipping things from their house. Next question. So, my time in Mary Kay, I came up against a lot of executive dysfunction challenges. And one of my big executive dysfunction challenges is getting stuff to the post office. It's like, ask me to compose you a sonnet. Ask me to water your crops. Ask me to do anything. Don't ask me to get to the post office. Like, it's just like something, it's just like beyond me. I don't know. There's some kind of a barrier. And you also have to realize that there's a lot of things you have to do before you actually get the product in the mailbox at the post office, right? You got to package it up and probably make it look cute. Put a note or something in there, you know, do the human touch. And don't make any mistakes. Sometimes that's hard for me. And then you got to address it and don't make any mistakes. And then I will never get the postage right, so I'm going to have to stand in line and get them to weigh it every single time. Then it's just going to sit there by the door for at least like a week, just waiting for me to like summon like the courage and the resources to take the stupid thing to the mailbox, to the post office. That's only a few blocks away. It's a very short drive. The traffic's not that bad, you know? I don't have to like fight alligators with daggers. I don't, to get there. It's just a normal drive. And yet, when I was in Mary Kay, shipping product to customers or lookbooks to people, or anything that involved me having to get something from my house and just box it up and take it to the post office, it's just like beyond me. It's just like literally beyond me. And I hope I'm not that way forever, but like I feel like I'm that way now. So when you guys ask me if you can buy product from me to support me, like in all honesty, it freaks me out, because I'm scared that I'm gonna let you down. I'm like, honestly, you know, I'm genuinely concerned about that. I can't say that I'm taking orders if I don't know if I can get them out of my house. And this thing that I know about myself makes me wonder about doing other fun things. Like, I've thought about, I have so much clothing in my house that I don't fit anymore, cool vintage stuff that I don't want to give away because I still like it. But I think about, I could have an online thrift store, but I need to be in a place where I have somebody helping me to, you know what I mean? Get it from like me to the rest of the world. There's like a real like blood-brain barrier between me and the rest of human society. It's very difficult to cross that barrier. So this is also something that's kept me from pursuing any kind of like fun crafty thing on Etsy. Like I said, I am the crafting queen. I do knitting, I do beading, I do macrame, I do hemp rope, I write I if there's like a pointless craft or like an unnecessary hobby, I will definitely pick it up and put an enormous amount of time and effort and love into it. And I don't hate that about myself, but I just think it would be I've thought of it for years. Before Mary Kay, I thought, man, wouldn't it be cool if I could like, people make jewelry and sell it on the side or whatever. But I don't know if I have the capability to actually send out orders. And there is a chance that if I was doing like a vintage thrift store, or if I was making my own jewelry, or I probably wouldn't be doing jewelry, I'd probably I don't know, jewelry's easy to ship though. There are so many things I could make that I've thought of. Dying zombie vocal filler, I hate it. There are lots of things that I could make and send, and there's things that my husband and I could make together, and we could have like a business together. Wouldn't that be so cool? And maybe if the thing that I was mailing from my house wasn't Mary Kay, like if it was my real business, my real passion project, not some nonsense, maybe I'd feel differently. I don't want to let I don't know if I should let my experience with Mary Kay, if I should let that be like a learning experience. Oh, you have too much executive dysfunction problems right now to do that. Or do I say, well, that was how you felt about when you were like in a pyramid scheme selling a product that you weren't emotionally connected to. But if you were creating something, maybe then there would be like more of a heart investment, and there wouldn't be such a weird push and pull inside of me, and then maybe it wouldn't be so hard for me to send orders out. Like, I don't really know. I might feel differently if it was something that I was genuinely excited about or thought was adding real value to the world. I might. And this could really like open up into a much, much larger issue that I've been dealing with, but I won't fully go there just for the sake of time and mental capacity. But I find myself having a very hard time thinking that I'm going to start or go for anything anymore. And I think it's just like, in a lot of ways, it's like post MLM burnout. I just don't. I mean, getting real sad and serious, I don't trust myself. I'll be totally honest. I have absolutely no faith in my ability to follow through. And I have no faith in my judgment. And I am so scared to let anybody else down that I just, for the last 2 years, I haven't even wanted to put myself out there in any way or try in any capacity, like in life. It's like I've put myself in jail. Like I'm in life jail. I put myself in life jail a couple of years before I stepped down as a director, and I just, I gotta, it's time to get out of jail. It's time to bust loose. It's such an interesting analogy. I've never thought of it that way, that I'm in life jail, but I really am. I'm just making myself sit on like a life timeout. I mean, we're all kind of in a life timeout right now, let's be honest. Yeah, I've had a hard time, throwing my whole heart into anything. because I will say that at the beginning of Mary Kay, I was so passionate. I loved it so much. I was so sure. I was so sure that what I was doing was so amazing. And I just find it hard to let myself get excited about something, because I know now that I can get excited about nonsense. And it really, I had to stop recording because my phone ran out of space. So apparently I'm done talking. But that's okay. I mean, it was getting a little sad and awkward. I just watched back where I was going with all that. But y'all get the point. I have found it so incredibly hard to initiate anything. This microphone's also working? That's weird. Okay. I have found it so incredibly difficult to initiate in any way at all. To have any faith in my own judgment, etc., etc. It's so weird. This wasn't doing this before. Maybe it's... Okay. There, the end. But you know, I got a comment from somebody saying, once I recover from all this, my discernment levels will be like off the charts. And I read it and I was like, well, wouldn't that be nice? And that literal evening, some door-to-door salespeople came to our house, representing the telecommunications company that sells that we get our Wi-Fi from. And they were trying to upsell me into a paying $5 a month more for a faster internet thing. And because I am so like fucking antennas to the sales pitch, like you can't, like I literally, you can't get me. And I was just like, I know exactly what this is. This is like an MLM that doesn't have a product. And instead they just have a sales force, and they approach legitimate companies like your bank or your phone company, and they say, hey, give us access to, this should be a separate video because I was pissed. They say, hey, give us access to your customer base and we'll approach them with your insurance or with an upgrade to their Wi-Fi, and then we'll split the profit. Basically, we'll take a commission from the sale, whatever the backdoor deal is. And then they call you or they come to your house saying that they're with your bank or they're with your phone company, and you trust them because they're talking about a service, like, you know what I mean, and they are selling a legitimate service. But why the hell is somebody coming to my door to talk to me about my Wi-Fi? No, sir, not at all. Never, not even once. Is that going to be okay with me? My partner and I bought an alarm system, a security system that we did not need from Vivint. Those sketchy, scammy, crafty, lying motherfuckers, by the way. Don't ever get a Vivint alarm system. What a bunch of hogwash and creepy predatory sales tactics. And so this was that, except that they weren't selling a security system. They were trying to sell me an upgrade to my Wi-Fi. And yeah, this is a real upgrade from my Wi-Fi with my real provider. And they were offering it to me at a cheaper deal than the provider was offering it to me, so they claimed. But he came to my door with the papers filled out with my shit. And I mean, I wasn't going to answer the door, but then I was like, I don't want them hanging around. I'm going to answer the door. So I did. I answered the door and I let him have it. And I mean, I wasn't like mean, but I just, like, I let him tell me. And I was like, look, dude, I'm not going to, like, he kept, he tried. And I said, look, I worked in sales for years and I'm seriously triggered by what you're doing right now. It is so presumptive and I am so mad that you would come and knock on my door. Furthermore, the fact that you came to me with the paperwork already filled out, like you couldn't even give me time to think it over while I wrote my address down, is so creepy and thirsty and just way too much. And like, man, this guy really like tried. Like, he thought he was gonna overcome my objections, and I was just like, I'm done, like, get away. And he had this trainee standing behind him, like hiding. I was like, man, that guy's gonna quit his job. And I loved it. But I think I should probably call my phone company and yell at them and be like, how absolutely effing dare you share my address with, no, don't anyone ever be coming to my house again. If you are coming to my house, you better be coming to replace my fiber optic line. That's the only reason. You better not ever come to my door trying to sell me or upgrade me on a service. Never, ever. I will decide when I want to upgrade my service. This is how I feel. I know, as a person who used to be on the other end. Anyways, okay, rant over. But just so you know, that shit happens. So my policy is, like, I will never, if you come to my door, I will automatically not buy it. Like, just point blank. I don't want to buy something that I wasn't planning to buy. I don't want to sign up for a service that I didn't even know I needed or wasn't aware existed. Okay? I don't need that shit. Get out of here with that. And same thing with calling me, okay? If I need some insurance, I will do the research and I will pick the insurance I need and then I will go and get the insurance. I'm not going to make some freaking snap decision based on a phone call. That's ridiculous. That's insane. Stop. Stop with this. It's nuts. So yes, I would say that my discernment levels are at an 11 out of 10. And so is my willingness to call out that shit. Like, I'm not going to be, like, unnecessarily mean or rude. And you especially shouldn't do that with MLM people because it's just confirmation bias. You're just proving to them that you're a negative person. But I will absolutely let somebody know that I know what they're doing. I see what they're doing. I'm not here for it. Get out of here with that. And so I did. And there are other good things that, you know, come from these experiences too, these unique life experiences that we have. But I think that is enough for this episode. Hell. I've already filled up all the space on my phone, apparently, from recording it. And I don't know how I'm ever going to get it edited and uploaded then, since my phone's apparently out of space. So guess that's a problem for me to figure out now. But in the meantime, here's the song that I wrote the day that I told all of Mary Kay to go fuck themselves. I call it, I Won't Keep Your Secrets. Enjoy. I bet you thought I would lie down and let you have your I bet you thought I would back down and agree with what you say. I bet you thought that you could buy my silence with your shame. It's time you find I've closed that tab and I've already paid. You won't like me when I'm angry. You won't like me when I'm mad. When I'm howling like a lunatic, bats in the belfry and a black cat. No, I won't keep your secrets no more. I can't keep mine, so I won't keep yours. Run, you manipulators, vapid dream takers, all you liars and you fakers, you better run. Run, you pretenders, reality benders, integrity offenders, you better run. Grab your children, cover their ears. The wild witch is saying things you don't want them to hear. She's telling her secrets, telling yours too. And nothing rings louder than the truth. You won't like me when I'm angry. You won't like me when I'm mad. When I'm howling like a lunatic, bats in the belfry and a black cat. No, I won't keep your secrets no more. I won't keep mine, so I can't keep yours. No, I won't keep your damn secrets no more. I'm finally free. I'm gonna settle the score. What'll you tell them when they ask you why? Diamonds in the credit for stuff that no one will buy. Tell them I'm crazy, tell them I'm mad. Tell them you drove me in your pink Cadillac. If you could be honest and just come clean, would it more than make up for your trail of broken dreams? You won't like me when I'm angry. You won't like me when I'm mad. When I'm howling like a lunatic, bats in the belfry and a black cat. No, I won't keep your secrets no more. I'm finally free, and this little bird is gonna settle the score.